Hello friends, and welcome back to another episode. Today, it's July. Well, it's been July for a little while, but I'm feeling the Christmas in July vibes. I've had a couple of subscribers suggest we do some sort of Christmas thing together, and then I caked up this red and green Christmassy yarn, and I felt that they were right. We definitely should do something Christmas inspired. And when I have no inspiration for what to crochet, a great default to fall back on is a dog sweater. So today I am going to design a dog sweater. First I'm just gonna roughly, I don't know how my dog looks as a cartoon without looking at him, but he's got big old ears, he's a Chihuahua. Got a big round head with big gigantic eyes, a little pointy nose. And then he's got a big thick neck. Oh, he's so cute, even though this drawing is not. And then he's got a big little round body and a tail. So what I'm thinking I kind of want to do for him is make something that covers his face almost like a hood, but where there's holes for his ears. So I want to make holes for ears, but I want the front part of his face to be covered. And then I want all this area nice and cozy. So if I break down that headpiece, we need something that's like cylindrical for around his face and head. Something like that, and then we're gonna have to put holes for ears. And then after it's over his head, it's gonna have to curve down for his neck. Wow, that is not a clear picture, but I have an idea. I feel like we're going to start with this area around the face, and we'll work up from there. My plan to begin is to work in the round, so we have to make a circle to begin with. A circle that is around as big as my little dog Thunder's face area. So I'm just gonna guesstimate that, but you can measure around your dog's, like around this sort of area of their face, like from eyes on either side and then around. And you can measure that area to know how big you need your circle to be. I am going to be using a 4mm hook today. And I think I'm going to be working mostly in single and double crochet. So check the link in the description. I'll link all the stitches you need to know for this. But if you are not brand new to crochet, then just follow along. So I'm going to start with a chain of 65, I believe. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 59, and 60. So 60 around. That might actually be big enough for around where his face goes. Let's go with 60. So I've made it to 60 chains, which at 4mm for me ends up being about 10 inches, 10 and a bit inches on there. And now I'm going to slip stitch into the first chain stitch that we did way at the beginning, and that'll join the round. And next I'm going to double crochet, or chain 2, 1 and 2, and then I'm going to double crochet in that first stitch where we just joined it together, and then I'm going to double crochet all the way around. It's a little difficult on the first round just because double crocheting into a bunch of chains can be a little time consuming, but it'll be worth it. So if you're following along, just pause the video here and double crochet all the way around that circle until you're back at the beginning. And if you are new, then you're gonna have to get really good at the double crochet because it is a big repeat in this pattern. I say that as though the pattern is already written. I am designing it as I go, but I know that I will be using double crochet and single crochet. Likely I will also be using half double crochet. Again, if these terms mean nothing to you, just check in the description of the video. I'll link all of my tutorials for each of the stitches so that you don't have to try and slow this down to understand what I'm doing. Oh, also, by the way, welcome to those of you who are new here. I'm Laura. This is the Last Minute Laura channel. I put out crochet tutorials, mending tutorials, natural dye tutorials, all kinds of tutorials on crafty handmade stuff. I put them out fairly regularly, and I also do live stream. Just to get our day started, we hang out, have some tea, have some good conversations. That, if sounds like up your alley, then I would hope that you would join, hit that subscribe button, and welcome back to those of you who are already part of the Last Minute Laura gang. I'm so glad to have you here with me, and I hope you are as excited as I am that a tutorial is coming again. I've been streaming so much that I haven't put out a tutorial in a while, and I think Christmas in July is a lovely way to come back to the regular tutorials. Just so that you know, I also have a couple of other videos in the works. I just really wanted to do this Christmas in July, so it ended up coming out first. So please enjoy, but also know that more content is on the way. So subscribe and like the video. Jeez, this is a lot of self-promo. Like the video, it really does help the channel grow, honest to goodness. It does mean a lot to me. And yeah, I think that's all the self-promo I've got. Nope, I have one more. I also do have a Patreon, and in my Patreon, one of the cool benefits that you get is you can adopt one of my chickens. I know this is, like, if you're new, this is all just random information, but I have chickens. I live on a farm in southern Ontario, and I have achieved one of my lifelong childhood dreams of having some chickens. So we have 11 chickens right now. We've got Diane, Clover, Poppy, MJ, Daisy, Fern, Buttercup, Bluebell, Sunflower. Did I miss anyone? I don't think I missed anyone. So we've got all those chickens, and the people who come to the daily stream are the ones who helped me name them. And if you become a patron, you can adopt one of them, which means I'll send you pictures and videos, little updates about your chicken. So if that's a way that you like to support creators, I do have a Patreon. Check out the links in the description below. Everything that I talk about throughout this video will be linked in the description. So now I can finish up with my self-promo. Thank you so much for listening to that long, drawn-out ad, essentially. And now, back to our regularly scheduled program. Oh, in addition, I did not even do the introduction. So while I'm crocheting here, I think I'll just do the little introduction. The little dog sweater that we're going to make today is going to be Christmassy in theme. You're going to need a 4mm hook, and you're going to need sport weight yarn. I am using a sport weight, probably like a number 2 weight of wool, and I am going to be using probably about 200 meters of it for the total. So you'll need those two things. You'll need scissors, a yarn needle, just for weaving in your ends at the end, and maybe doing a seam or two. And other than that, you should be set. If you don't have a 4mm hook and you have a 5mm hook, then you can still do this. Just keep track of your measuring, that's all. I'm just doing mine based on my dog's size, so it doesn't really matter what hook you're using, because this is not like a stitch count specific pattern. You can definitely modify it for your pet. Just the basic steps will be the same, regardless of how big your dog is. You'll just have to make the initial chain longer. You may have to have a different number of stitches between the ears if you're doing the hood like I am there. All right, cool. So at that last stitch, is that a last stitch? Yeah, that one more. Let's do one more. There we go. So now I've made it all the way around my circle the first time, double crochet, and now I am going to insert my hook into that double crochet, the space between that chain 2 in the first row. I'm going to stick my hook in here, and then I'm going to just slip stitch, and then chain 2, 1 and 2. There we go. Now we've got this little fabric-y loop. Okay, so for round 2, we're actually going to be starting as though we're doing the cuff of a sleeve or the bottom of a sweater. We're going to be doing front post, back post double crochets. So the row began with a chain 2. Now we're going to yarn over, and instead of putting our hook into one of the stitches, we're going to put it all the way behind the full column of the double crochet, or the post. And then we're going to complete a double crochet. In the next stitch, we're going to do the opposite. So we just came and put the hook behind that post. Now we're going to yarn over and put the hook in front of that post. Make sense? Then we're going to complete a double crochet. In the next one, we're going to do a front post again, so that's yarn over, insert the hook behind the entire column, finish a double crochet, and then for the next one, back post, so yarn over, and then we're going to put the hook in front of that post and complete a double crochet. So you can see we've just done 4 of them at this point, but it's beginning to show that there is a area that is a behind area and an area that's an in front area. Wow, that sounds intelligent. Basically, it's going to be looking like a ribbed sort of cable stitch energy. And I am just going to front post double crochet, back post double crochet all the way around. What this does is it adds a little bit of a stretchy quality to your crochet. So it tapers in that double crochet round. If we measure across the round when we're beginning, you'll see after we do this entire round, it'll end up a little smaller. So if we just do across, it's about 6 inches across. After we're finished, it'll probably be a little bit less than that, just because these double crochet, these posted double crochets, they just sort of draw the crochet work closer together, which adds a nice little stretchiness. The way that the collar of your sweaters or the cuffs of your sleeves, they're a little tighter than the sleeve itself. Same kind of idea here. We're just trying to have it taper in a little bit so that it's snug around Thunder's face when he's wearing it. So I'm going to just front post double crochet, back post double crochet all the way around for round number 2, and I will meet you back. You can pause the video here and turn it back on when you've made it all the way around. I'll meet you back and show you what we're going to do for round 3. Okay, so I'm just at that last stitch, and I've inserted into the chain 2 space from the row before, and I'm just going to slip stitch to bring that together. And you can see we've got our first row finished here. So I'm going to chain up 2 again, 1 and 2, and guess what? Following the exact same pattern again. So everywhere where there's a front post double crochet, I'm going to repeat and do a front post double crochet. Everywhere where there's a back post double crochet, I'm going to repeat from the previous row and complete a back post double crochet. And I am going to do that all the way around. And I'm actually going to do this for a total of 2 more rows. So this row, and then 1 more row after that of the exact same stitches, front post, back post, front post, back post, all the way around. And after we have those 2 more rows, we are going to be moving into the next section of the doggy sweater. So you can pause here and just keep doing your rows. If you've got a larger dog, you can bring this back farther. Basically, what I'm doing at this point is this area will be around Thunder's face. It'll be around here. And I'm stopping my ribs where the ear hole is going to need to go. So if you've got a larger faced dog, like if your dog's a Doberman, you're gonna need way more length to actually cover their face. My recommendation is to bring your dog close enough to you so that while you're working, you can periodically just take your project off your hook and slide it onto your dog's face until you get it to the right length, so that you put the ear holes in a position that it's going to be comfortable when they're wearing it. You don't want to make a hat that forces their ears to sit in an unnatural way, because they're not going to want to wear it. And since Thunder hates winter, I'm always trying to find some way to make it cozy enough for him to want to be outside for more than 5 seconds. So I'll show you once we're past this section how it's looking on Thunder, where I'm stopping with the front post, back post, double crochet. So you could pause here, and when you come back with your front post double crochet rows finished, I will show you how it's looking on Thunder at this point. See you then. Okay, so I've just made it to the end of that last round for the rib stitch. I'm going to slip stitch again like I have been to connect the round, and then I'm going to just chain 1, and now I'm going to half double crochet in every space all the way around. And when I say every space, what I mean is at the top between 2 of those posts there's this big hole. I'm putting my hook into that big hole to complete my half double. So yarn over, insert into that large hole, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through. And I'm going to just do that all the way around this ribbed area. And you don't have to do half double crochets. If you're using a thicker yarn, you can use like a single crochet, or if you want to make it really tight and like no cold coming through, you could use a single crochet with a small hook and a small yarn. But yeah, it's really up to you. This is just sort of the shape that I'm teaching you for this one. And I'm making it up with you as we go along, so stitch counts are not super important because it's going to be specific to your dog. But if you're doing what I'm doing with Thunder, I started off with a chain of 60 or 65. I think 60 is where I actually stopped. And then we did 4 rounds of front post, back post, double crochet. And now we're going to be doing a couple of rounds in this half double crochet, but first we're going to start with this first round, and then I'm going to bring Thunder over here to show you what we're looking at. It's going to be your new Christmas outfit. Okay, so first, this is going to be sitting basically right there on him. There's a looseness to the bottom. I'll pull it up from the top so you can see. There's a little bit of extra. Up. Oh, good boy, so handsome. Basically, this is going to sit about there though, and now we need to put in some spaces for his ears so that he's not you're so cute, so that he's not having any issues there for his ears. It's alright, you don't have to back up. Ooh, that would even start really well as a sweater for you. Okay, you can just sit here with me then. There's one. And there's the other. So the goal next is going to be that we leave a space for his ears. I'm going to stop probably 2 stitches before the ear, and then I'll start up again 2 stitches after the second ear. And I'm going to leave this whole rectangle up here empty so that his ears have tons of room to walk around. Other possibility that we could do is just 2 big holes for his ears. I kind of like the idea of having his whole ears free to go though, so I think I'm going to leave them fully free to breathe. But for this section, it's just going to be half double crochets until I reach that first marker. I'm going to begin with a chain 1 because I just started a new row. And now I'm going to half double crochet all the way up to where I will hit that first marker. Alright, so here's the first marker. I am going to go 2 stitches before it, so 1 and 2. So that means I still have 2 stitches to complete. 1 and 2. Let's count how many stitches are going to be unworked. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. Perfect. So that means we're going to be working 22 chains because we're going to be attaching at the 22. So 1, 2, 3, 24, 20, 21, because we're stitching 21, skipping 21 stitches. And then we're going in again. Let's just get a recount. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and then we're going to go in 22. So yarn over, insert, and we're going to be completing a half double crochet to reattach. There we go. And now we're going to half double crochet all the way back to the beginning, all the way around. And back at the beginning, we're going to join with a slip stitch, and then I'm going to chain one again, and then I'm going to half double crochet all the way until I reach that chain, and then we're going to be completing half double crochets into that chain to get all the way around back to the beginning of where the chain has been reattached to the loops. So I'm just half double crocheting. Nothing special about that. And I am going to make my way up to the chain. Almost there. And then I'll show you what I'm going to do at that chain hole, that big space by the chain. We are going to get it back into working, back to being working into that area, because we just needed that chain to create the hole. So now I'm at the chain. What I'm going to do is I'm going to half double crochet just over the chain. So it'll be a little bit difficult at first if you've not done work over a chain before. It's like it takes a second to get used to, but just complete half double crochets over that chain. You need a total of 21 half double crochets over top of that chain. I'm going to just zoom in for a second so I can show you how I do that, how I like to work into a chain. So I'm yarn over, I'm putting my hook underneath the chain, grabbing my loop, coming back in front of the chain, completing a half double crochet. So basically you're treating the chain like it's a hole in something, not like it's actually just a long chain. Like I said, it can be a little bit cumbersome, a little bit finicky at first, just because the chain doesn't feel natural to be working into like this. But trust me, it'll be fine. Just keep trying. You're barely going to be able to tell if you make a bunch of mistakes at this point. 20 and 21. And then for the 22nd stitch, we're going to be working back in that 22nd stitch from the previous row. We're just going to work into that as normal. And now we're just going to work all the way back to where the round joins as normal, half double crochet. So if your dog is much bigger than Thunder and you need your chain to be, I don't know, 45 long, same thing. It's all the same. You're making a round that fits around your dog's face, and then you're making a hole that is as wide as the distance from ear to ear for him, from the outside of his ears. That distance is pretty much how long you want that chain to be, because you want his ears to fit inside. Alright, coming up on that last stitch now. I'm going to join my round with a slip stitch and a chain one. And now I'm going to show you what we're working with. So now we've got this little space. And Thunder, can I have your head for just a minute over here? Good boy. And then this will go on like that. And then his ears will come through those holes. Nice and safe. His ears are back because he's being shy, but it'll be okay. And now what we're going to be doing is working down. Just keeping going. This is going to continue down onto his back. Hi, you're so handsome. He looks very handsome in his little shirt and his little hat. There he is. All right, so you can lie back down. and I am going to just keep working in the round in half double crochets. I am going to do 5 more rounds this exact way. So if you are following along, just complete 5 more rounds. 1, and if you are working for your dog size, then complete as many rounds as it takes to make it to the base of their skull. So right now you should be just behind their ears, and we want this section to go all the way to the back of their skull. After that, we're going to be including a few decrease stitches just to make it a little more snug once it's on. But yeah, 5 rows if you're doing some 5 to 7 pound Chihuahua style dog, then you'll need 5 more rows. And if you are doing a larger dog, you may need larger amounts of rows, but still the concept is the same. We're working in the round. We've got a ribbed stitch for the front, then we've got a nice big hole for the ears, and then we are going to be covering the head and neck. So I'm going to do my 5 rounds of half double crochet. Now that I'm at that hole from the previous row where we did our half double crochets, I'm just going to work into those half double crochets as normal. Just pretend that they are just a regular row of half double crochets. Otherwise, I'm going to do the exact same thing for 4 more rows after this. For three more rows, excuse me. I've already done 2 rows in half double crochet. We want a total of 5 before we're going to make any other changes to this pattern. So I will do that. You can pause here and meet me back when you are done the number of half double crochet rows before it's time to do a little bit more shaping on our doggy hat hood capelet extraordinaire. Okay, so I just finished my 5 rounds of half double crochet and I joined my round together. At this point you can see we've got that nice little band, and we've got a hole, and then we've got some half double crochet worked up. So now I'm going to just half double crochet all the way up to where that hole begins. So even though we're 5 rows past the hole, when we get to the stitch lined up with the edge of that gap we made, that big hole for Thunder's ears, when we get there, we are going to stop and do something a little bit different. So let me just get my way up to that space and I'll show you what we're going to do after that. Okay, and we're just about there. What we're going to be doing now though is some reductions. We're going to be bringing in the project just a little, just to shape around the dog's head. So here we are at the first stitch. So for the first one, we'll just do a half double crochet. For the next 2 stitches, we're going to half double crochet 2 together. The next stitch, just a regular half double crochet, and the next 2 stitches, half double crochet 2 together. Next one, 1 stitch, next one, half double crochet 2 together. And we're going to do that little repeat of reducing every other stitch just for the duration of the gap, just for the big space where Thunder's ears are going to go. This area that we're working right now is going to be right behind his ears, behind his head. So we want that to be shaped around his very round head. So I'm just going to do 1 more reduction after that because we're just about at the end of that space. There we go. And now you can see I've made a few reductions here, which is going to help it fit a little better around Thunder's head. For the rest of the round, I'm just doing regular half double crochets. For the next round as well, just a round of half double crochets. So at this point, we've done how many rounds of ribbing? 1, 2, 3, 4. So we've done 4 rounds of ribbed stitches, followed by 5 rounds, followed by 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, followed by 2 rounds of half double crochet, and then we added in that big gap, and then we did another 5 rounds of half double crochet, And now we are working on the decreasing for the next couple of rows. So this row we did the decreasing around the back of the head. We're not doing any decreasing on the other side. This side we're working right now, just because this is his front of his chest. There's always room for more chest room in dog sweaters, or at least there is for Chihuahuas. I finished the round, chained up one, and now I'm going to half double crochet again as normal all the way to the space. And then for the whole round, to be honest, we're doing half double crochet all the way around for the whole round. So let me just take a quick pause here and go over what we did so far. So we did one long chain, however long it is, around your dog's face, and then we joined that chain and did a round of double crochet. That's round one. For round two, we did front post double crochet, back post double crochet. For round 3 and 4, we also did front post, back post. So we have 4 rows for the front post, back post. Then we brought it up into a new type of stitch. We started working in half double crochet. So for round 5, 6, 7, I should say this first. For round 5, we did a round of half double crochet. For round 6, we did a round of half double crochet until you hit the outer point of your dog's ears, and then we did a chain stitch that reconnected at the point where it would hit the outer point of the other ear. So this big gap is where the ears are going to go through. For row 8 and 9, we just did half double crochets around, and then on round number 10 is where we did that decrease. Now I'm on round 11 and I'm just going all the way around. No decrease on row 11. Round 11, excuse me. If any of this is confusing, I will write out the instructions and I will have a link to that posted in the video description. Again, these instructions aren't counted stitches because it's going to vary depending on what kind of dog you're making a hat, hood, capelet for, but the idea, the design, the pattern is pretty forgiving, so I think that you should be able to do it. After I finish this round of regular half double crochet, I am going to do another round where at the bottom, all around the bottom where his chest will be, that's going to be regular half double crochet, but when we get to that space for his ear holes up at that area, we are going to reduce every other stitch. So we're going to do 2 half double crochets together, 1 half double crochet in the next stitch, 2 half double crochets together, 1 half double crochet in the next stitch. This yarn is quite soft. Lucky you, Thunder, a nice warm Christmas sweater in July. Alright, now I've made it up to that hole. I'm going to half double crochet 2 together, and then I'm going to half double crochet once in the next stitch. I'm going to half double crochet 2 together, and then half double crochet once in the next stitch. Again, 2 together, 1 in the next stitch, and 2 together, and 1 in the next stitch. And last one, 2 together. And then I'm just going to half double crochet back to our beginning. Okay, so I've just finished that regular half double crochet row. I am now going to do another half double crochet row all the way around just as normal. So that means after this one normal round, we're doing a second normal round of half double crochet. At this point, if you were just making a hat for your dog, you'd be virtually done. But I think I'm gonna make Thunder's little hat a bit more of a capelet, not quite a sweater. He has his very comfy sweaters. This is more, I'm thinking, for if it's snowing, just to go on top of his little sweater. So some kind of little capelet is what we're gonna be doing with this. So after this one normal row, we are going to be making a pretty big shift in this this garment. So complete one more regular half double crochet row and meet me back here. So at this point, what we are looking at here is this portion is where your doggy's face comes out. This, we're going to add a drawstring so that you can kind of pull it tight around your doggy's face to keep them warm. And then right here is where their ears will come out. Then we've got some shaping to sort of bring the head more comfortably down. And now what we're going to be doing, this space here is also the chest. It bends when it's on the dog. I know it looks a little funky when I'm holding it like this, but basically that's going to be up straight and this is going to be down in the chest area. So now what we need to do is we need to increase in this base area. So I'm going to make a mark about just a little less than halfway down, and in there I am going to mark those stitches. Oh, but if only I had stitch markers. I do, but I am already sitting here cross-legged and comfortable, and I'm not going to get up to go get them. But I do have stitch markers, and I would be using them if I wasn't already comfortable. Okay, so now, if you look, where those ears start and finish is actually where we're going to be beginning the increase on the other side, and that's just going to start twisting this garment. You'll see what I mean in a minute. So, now that we've got those normal rows, up until we hit that marker, we're going to be doing one regular stitch and then one increase stitch. 1 and 2. One regular, one increase. An increase means we're putting 2 half double crochets in the stitch. Then a regular stitch, then 2 half double crochets. Regular, and then that last one I'm going to do 2. 1, oops, and 2. And now up until we hit the next stitch marker, we're just going to do regular half double crochets. Alright, and now that we're at the stitch marker, I can pull that out, and then we're going to do 2 double crochets where that stitch marker was. In the next stitch, 1 double crochet. In the next 2, oh, half double crochet, excuse me. 2 half double crochet, 1 half double crochet. And we're just going to repeat that again until we hit the middle, where we join our round. We're going to chain up as usual, and the next round we're doing as usual, nothing special on the next round. The reason that we always do one regular round and then one, I don't know, edited round if you want to call it, reason for that is we want it to be a really nice gradual transition. We don't want it to be this very obvious increase and decrease. And if we did it on every single row, you'd see a huge shift in the size of the garment very quickly, and it's not what we're going for here. So for this next round, just half double crochet all the way around as usual. And when we make it back to the beginning, I will show you what we're going to do for the next round. In case you are counting, we are on round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. We are on round 17 right now. And for round 17, half double crochet around. Alright, so I finished that round of just regular half double crochet, and now for a couple more rounds, I'm going to stay for 4 more rounds. We are just going to do a regular half double crochet round. And in 4 rounds, we should have a pretty good idea of how much more we need to do to finish this off for our little hooded capelet for our puppy. I'm thinking 4 more rounds, maybe almost done for Thunder, but we shall see. 4 more rounds of half double crochet, no increase, no decrease, just half double crochet all the way around 4 more times. So I'm not going to film the entirety of that. I'm just going to do that really quick, and I will meet you back here when those 5 rounds are complete. Come here, Thunder. Ready to show off how cute you are? So here is Thunder. Good boy, sit. Yeah, you can lean right up against me. And then this, oh, you excited to try? So this piece will go over, come here. Come on. Oh, is a good boy. Go over like that. His little ears will come out of these holes. Good boy. And then the shaping around the back of his head. It's okay. So handsome. Perfect. So this actually is fitting exactly how I'm hoping. Well, once we have the drawstring at the top, huh? Keep that on your head. So the next step is going to be to do a round with an increase on every stitch. You can see. So for this next round, we're going to do an increase on every other stitch. And the reason for that, it's going to create this nice flared effect, making it sit really cute on his shoulders. I decided I am gonna go with the capelet rather than a full sweater because I think it's cute, and I think that Thunder will appreciate having a capelet. After this round of increasing every other stitch, so that means in the first stitch we put 1 half double crochet, in the second stitch we put 2 half double crochets, in the third stitch 1, in the fourth stitch 2, and we're doing that increase all the way around. After we finish that round, we're going to do 1 more round, and that last round I'm going to do in double crochet, and that last round has no increases, no decreases, just 1 round of double crochet. And that's just going to be a cute way to finish it off. Okay, so again, I am working in double crochets for this next row, our second to last row. I'm going to be doing a double crochet in every single stitch around, and every single stitch around is going to end up showing kind of like a little bit of, not quite a ruffly pattern, but it's going to be significantly wider than, it's going to be significantly wider than the previous rounds because we did that increase in every other stitch for the last round. But this one we're just doing double crochets all the way around. So I will see you back at the beginning where I'm going to show you how we are finishing off this adorable little capelet. We still have a couple of things we need to get finished in order to make it fit properly and to sit and stay where we want it to. But for this last round, about this part of the capelet, we're doing double crochets in each stitch all the way around. And there we go. There is that double crochet row after our increases. You can see, I guess this is the side. You can see that if I zoom out a little, we've got this extra tail here. This is going to be for where his chest is, and over here is like the back of his head. That tapering we did is going to bring in his little neck area so that it sits nice. Now what we have to do is focus on this face area. So I'm going to cut my yarn and I'll secure that off. So on this end, we're going to be reattaching. I'm going to reattach at the bottom so that it's not super visible. And I'm just going to reattach by shoving the hook through a hole between 2 of the posts. So basically onto the chain stitch that we originally started with. So now what I'm going to do is with half double crochets, I'm going to half double crochet, I'm going to half double crochet in 1 stitch, half double crochet in 2 stitch, and then half double crochet 2 together for the 3rd stitch. Half double crochet in 1 stitch, half double crochet in 2 stitch, half double crochet 2 together for gonna do that all the way until I am back at the beginning where I started. 1, 2. And then after that, I am going to do 1 round of single crochets. And that's it for the front. That's gonna be all we need to do that's left for the front part of his face. We are going to be adding in a drawstring though. So on that last single crochet row, you'll see me do a couple of variation things in order to make it have a little drawstring around his face. Join back where I started. And now that's just a little bit smaller, not crazy smaller, because we still want it to have like a good fit to it. But the next step here is that we are going to do chain 3, 1, 2, 3, skip 1, and then in the next stitch, secure with a slip stitch. Chain 3, 1, 2, 3, then we skip 1, then we secure with a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, skip 1, secure with a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, skip 1, secure with a slip stitch. 1, 2, 3, skip 1, secure with a slip stitch. We're going to do that all the way around. 1, 2, 3, and that's leaving us some space to put a drawstring through. 1, 2, 3, in order to pull that facial area a little bit closer to your dog so that they have a nice snug hat face area. Skip that one, and then we're going into that same one again. Perfect, that's a great matchup. And then we can pull, secure through. There we go. So now we've got a little space for these drawstrings. I'm going to get, I think, some white yarn. Okay, so we're gonna make a little chain stitch, and that is just going to be for the tie around the face, and probably another little bow somewhere, so it's really Christmassy. We want this capelet to be, whoop, got distracted, where was I? Now we're at the point where this is how it's looking, so you can kind of imagine, here's your dog's face, here's your dog's ears. So we've got those little loops that we crocheted. Now we need a ribbon to tie around your puppy's face to make them a nice little Christmas present. So, because again, this is Christmas in July, people. So you can see the shaping of where I shaped down Thunder's head with those decreases, because he's got that little Chihuahua melon head. But I'm going to find roughly the middle point at the top. There it is, ish. And I'm just going to pull one strand up through it. And then I'm going to just weave up and down through those chain 3 spaces that we did. I'm gonna weave this chain. I made a chain of 75 to get all the way around this hole. If your dog has a bigger face, you might need a chain of 100. You can alternatively use nothing at all and just have it sit as is. You could use a little ribbon, or you could sew a piece of elastic into it. You've got a lot of options here. I don't mind tying a little bow on Thunder every time he puts his little outfits on. I already have buttons and just other closures in some of his other clothing items. So for me, having a little chain with a bow at the top is perfectly fine. But I'm just gonna weave this through those spaces we made with the chain 3 until I'm all the way back where I started. Made it back to the top, pulling that chain through the last hole there. And now what we've got is a little drawstring for the top. And this is great because if you need to just tighten it down a little bit so that your dog has no cold coming in, then you can. And this can be extended as well. If you want to make a few more rounds, you can do that. This is perfect for Thunder though. It'll cover everything that isn't covered in his sweaters, his winter sweaters. The only thing I have left to do is do a little bit of a finishing stitch around the back here. So what I'm going to do is the exact same thing that we did for that top section where we did the chain 3, skip 1, but I'm going to do it in white. So it's going to come off like sort of like a ruffle, like a little frill for Thunder. Chain 1, 2, and 3. Then I'm going to skip 1, and then I'm going to slip stitch in. Chain 1, 2, 3. I'm going to skip 1, and I'm going to slip stitch in. 1, 2, 3. Skip 1, slip stitch in. 1, 2, 3. Skip 1, slip stitch in. You could use this the same way that we are using the one around the face, and you could use it to have a drawstring in, but I don't think it's necessary, honestly. I think that this, the one drawstring is going to be more than enough. 1, 2, 3. And I'm just going to do this all the way around, chain 3, slip stitch into the next stitch. 1, 2, 3. Skip a stitch, slip stitch into the next stitch. Oops. 1, 2, 3. I think this project is a great one if you've got a small dog who hates going outside in the winter. 1, 2, 3. Because I know it's always Thunder's head that gets cold. I know it's his little face and his little head. So if this is going to keep him able to go outside for just a few extra minutes in the winter, I think it'll be worth it. And aren't we all thinking about Christmas already? I'm just kidding, I'm totally not. I'm looking forward to the end of summer, to fall. Oh, think about all of the natural dye that's available in the summer. I'm very excited to get started on some of that. And also, as soon as the end of summer comes around, it's crochet clothing season. We can start wearing our sweaters again. That's the only thing I look forward to about the cold. Thunder is dressed in cute things. 1, 2, 3. And Alex and I can wear almost entirely homemade garments that I've made for us with crochet. But I do feel like 1, 2, 3, I'm getting my groove back, my crochet groove, my crojo, my crochet mojo. Have you guys lost your crochet mojo this summer at all? I feel like this summer has been such a crazy ride that a lot of us have gotten knocked right off our track, whatever our track is. For me, that seems to be crochet and video making. It's been a little bit harder than it used to be. And I think that it has a lot to do with the fact that everything in the world seems to be on fire. But a nice way to add a little bit of a jovial, light-hearted pattern in, I thought, Christmas in July. Well, I shouldn't say I thought. My subscribers suggested Christmas in July months ago, and then again a couple of weeks ago, and I thought, okay, well, they brought it up twice. I'll do something for Christmas in July. 1, 2, 3. And I think this is the perfect little project because it's easy, which I love. It doesn't take much yarn. 1, 2, 3, which I love. And it's for a pet, which is great. 1, 2, 3. If you don't want it to be a Christmas version, just don't do it in Christmas colors. But for me, since it's Christmas in July and Thunder can never have too many themed clothes, I'm going with the whole Christmas theme. 1, 2, 3. I actually used way less yarn than I anticipated using, so maybe I'll make myself something to go with it. 1, 2, 3. Or Alex, maybe I'll make him a bow tie, and then at Christmas this year, 1, 2, 3, my boys can match. I would say I'll make CJ a bow tie, but he won't wear a bow tie. He won't wear anything. Sometimes he'll wear a sweater if it's really cold. And there we go, I'm almost done. Look at me talking all the way around. 1, 2, and 3. Then I'm going to do a slip stitch in there. 1, 2, 3. Slip stitch in there. 1, 2, 3. I think that's it. I'll skip that one, slip stitch in there. 1, 2, because there's the third right here, and then I will join that together. Oops. Pull through, secure off my yarn, and guess what, friends? That's the whole party. That's it. It seems simple. It's because it is. It's very simple. Let me zoom you out so you can see just how simple it really is. It's a tube of front post, back post double crochet, and then the tube begins to decrease in size on one side, and then it begins to increase in size on the other side, and then we added a little ruffle around the edge. Now let's get our model over here and let me show you how he looks in it. Look how cute he is. Brr! I can't handle it. Oh my god, he looks so perfect. Here, show Thunder, not me, camera. Oh, he's so handsome. Look at that lace dog. So nice. Oh, he's so comfortable. And it's got that nice space for his ears. And it's also got this cute little rib around his face. Oh, he's so cute. You look so good. And you can see from the front, if I hold you like that, how about that? Is that okay? You see from the front, it's like a little capelet. So handsome. And then there's that drawstring, so that he's just like gone limp. There's a drawstring at the top so that you can put a little bow in there. Make him look like a cute little Christmas present. And that'll fit perfectly with his existing sweaters, which I think is great. So, I hope you liked it. I hope you try it because it's really easy. It'll only take you a little while to make. Doesn't take much yarn. And you get a cute little Christmas in July dog cowl. Earless hat. Perfect amount of space for a kiss to fit right in between the ears. Hope you guys liked it. Thank you so much for joining me in making Thunder this Christmas in July cowl, and I'll see you next time. Bye!